You okay, Ad?
Yeah, very well, thank you very much. Loving the jumper, first of all.
Good observation, mate.
Getting into the festive spirit
Ye-
yet? Are the lights up in the Moore household?
Yeah, no, just obviously it's that time of the year, and obviously we know obviously it's a Christmas jumper day today, so just wanted to sort of pay my respects and towards the charities and that, and just join in with a little bit of the festive cheer that everybody's doing today.
Excellent. Well, that's great to see. Well, I wonder if you could sprinkle any festive cheer on the injury front, if you see what I've done there. Gregory, Windass and Byers, have any of those got a chance of playing at Exeter?
Yeah, Gregory, Windass, they've trained this week now, so really pleased, providing they don't have no reaction to their injuries. They've trained as normal, so as I said, with us doing, the interview today, they've still got a couple of days where they feel they can sort of get some more work into them, but they're both trained today, and providing no reaction to any of them, then they'll both be part of the squad. With regards to George Byers, he won't be part of the squad this week.
How close was he? Is there a chance he could be back in a week's time?
No, we keep trying George, but the injury's sort of taken a little bit longer than it is, and he's wanting to be taking a bit more time. So we've got to respect what the decision of the player is at the moment, in terms of him wanting to be right in terms of affecting games, and he probably doesn't feel he's quite trusting himself at this moment in time.
I know you got some good minutes in a few players in the friendly at Huddersfield in the week. I suppose with Michael Ihekwa's injury, great to see Akin Fenwell getting 90 minutes under his belt.
Yeah, and he's another one, Adam, that as and when we're ready now, we see him fit now, ready to step in and get some minutes for the first team. At any game we feel is right for him to come in. That's his rehabilitation work completed as much as him getting first team minutes, so we're really pleased to have him back, and for him to get 90 minutes in that behind closed doors at Huddersfield, along with others as well, was really important.
Yeah, Danny Sedena, another one of those that featured in that game. Is he still working towards, e.g. could he still be another 2-3 weeks away?
Yeah, with Dennis, that is it. But Dennis is now just into his final bit now, training with us. His training's back in full-time training with the team. Getting some match minutes was great for him. And he's looking really good, Dennis. So it's just really, it's his volume and loading and making sure he's in the stage that what we're putting him through now is that he's not getting any reactions to it. And as I said, he's had 45 minutes, he's had a week of training, and we've had no reactions, so we feel we can step him up again.
And you had a look at a young trialist, Ayo Tanimowo, in the week. What were your thoughts on him? Is he still somebody that you're looking at?
Yeah, sometimes, Adam, these opportunities present itself with us looking at some real young, talented players out there that's been connected with different clubs but are out on a free, and it's really just having a look, taking the opportunity at this time of the year to have a look at one or two players, and AO was one that we've looked at, we're still looking at, we've not come to a decision as yet with him, but again, he was another one what I thought acquitted himself really, really well in the game, and it would have done him the world of good in terms of playing alongside seniors, and we've had him training in with the seniors this week. So as I said, we'll come together as a staff probably after the weekend and make a decision on him.
Are there any other trialists that you're going to take a look at over the next couple of weeks ahead of January? Is there anybody that you already have had a look at?
Adam, there is a potential. I've had 2 or 3 that we're talking about now, and the only reason why we are, because if we feel there is a benefit of them coming in and trialling with us, and the trial being one for a purpose and reason, then we'll have a look at them. But what we ain't going to do is just open up the trials just for anybody just to come in, because we don't think, if it's not of value and we're really looking for that position, then what's the point? But there is 2 or 3 that we are looking at now, but the discussions been made, but we haven't decided to give them a trial or not.
Are these potential extras to any work that you might want to do in January, for instance, if you have got 1 or 2 targets that you want to bring in there?
Yeah, potentially, but at the same time, they may be of use in terms of their availability now and where we can work with them now in terms of building up for instead of waiting for January. So we're just looking at one or two now. We've not decided by any stretch or any means, but they are a possibility.
There's reported interest from Hearts in a return for Callum Patterson and potentially looking at that. Have you had anything official from Hearts on that?
Nothing official at all, Adam. Nothing official at all, and no, I've not heard anything. So, but it is relatively still quite early. So, but I've not heard anything official from Hearts. So, I can't really comment on that.
But if there is interest in Callum, obviously he hasn't played as much as he would have liked this year. Would he be allowed to leave in January? Is he still very much part of your plans?
He's part of the plans, and the reason why he's part of the plans is because what you've just said is just only hearsay, because I've not had anything official from Hearts at all. So as far as I'm concerned, he stays and remains and continues as he's doing for us this season, and he's played a big part thus far over the. We're probably not even at the halfway mark of the season, but he's played his part, and will continue to do so. So I have to just treat that as speculation, which is what it's going to be, because us as a football club have not had an official approach.
But would you have to take kind of any interest in any player seriously if they're not getting regular minutes? Is that just something that you would discuss with them?
Not just any player, that's all of our players, because whether you like it or not, every single one of our player has a price on his head. So that's not just players that's not got match minutes. That goes for the whole structure of the squad. We could get an unannounced bid come in for one of our players that's getting maximum minutes and playing really, really well. So we don't know, Adam. It's a transfer window, and these transfer windows can bring these scenarios, whether you deem the players playing or not. And what we've just got to be is ready. But at the moment, I can only treat it as speculation, and that goes for all the players, because I've not had an official approach for any of them at all. So it's speculation.
In terms of those kind of players that haven't played as much from a forward perspective, like Patterson, maybe Wilkes, for example, I know you put Mighton in a more forward role last weekend. Do you kind of need to see a little bit more from all of them as a group, which obviously looks a bit more obvious when Windass and Gregory aren't involved and you don't score in a game?
Yeah, I mean, but that's honestly, Adam, every single week we want to see more from us every single week as a team. We don't want to stand still. I'm trying to push more from myself, my staff, the players. So as a group in that, Adam, our jobs is not to really stand still. We want to see more. So even if they'd all scored last week, I'd want to see more this week, because that's the industry that we are in. We're in a competitive industry, and if you stand still, you get caught, and we don't want that. We want to continuously moving forward. So our minds have got to be fresh. We've got to have the ability to want to come in and learn and develop, and formulate a group that's winning football matches, and that we won't ever go away from that. So we continue to do that. So my answer will always be yes, and that'll be yes, even if they've scored goals or had assists. My answer will be yes. I want to see more and continue to see more, but that's not just from individuals, that's them as a group, and even my staff. We want to see more every single week.
But in terms of what you've seen so far, are you happy with what, say, Patterson, Wilkes and Mighton have all contributed so far this season?
Thus far, I'm happy in terms of what but am I satisfied? No, because I want more. But what they've contributed up till now, okay, they've contributed up to it. Obviously, all three of them have had a stop-start campaign. So in terms of opportunities to get in, when the opportunity's there, then they've got to grab it, as is all the players have got to grab it. So in terms of what they've contributed, yes, because they've contributed to getting us to where we are at the moment. But am I completely satisfied with them? No. So we need more.
Looking ahead to the Exeter game, were there any discussions with Exeter and between Exeter and Sheffield Wednesday about potentially moving the kick-off time with the England game? Are you aware of anything like that?
No. There's been nothing discussed. So obviously both clubs sees it at a time where we can, play the fixture and it not really interrupt with after the game, us all giving support to the boys for the World Cup match, for the quarter-final round. So, we'll focus on the game. Once the game's finished and that, we'll be back on the team bus travelling back up, so we'll end up watching it on that on the way back up.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Is that going to be on the bus? You're not planning to stick around down there or anything?
No, we're really grateful on the bus that we'll get full viewing of that, and we'll be together as a team, and obviously, I would say the majority of the bus will be right behind the lads out there in Doha, really just willing them on to get through and progress, and we all seem quite confidently here that they'll get the job done. It'll be a great game, and the support's there. Me certainly feel, they'll get the job done.
Yeah, I think we can imagine which players may well be back in the French a little bit more, but needless to say, Mr. Bannon et al. It'll be an interesting day, won't it, for Cameron Dawson? Clearly had a brilliant season with Exeter last year. On him, is he still very much of your plans going forward? Clearly you would have wanted to play a lot more than he has this season.
Yeah, absolutely. He would have liked to. And first and foremost, he had a tremendous season last year, helping Exeter into the level in the league that we're in now. And I'm sure if the fans see him down there, they'll give him a warm welcome because he was absolutely tremendous for the club. But he's part of our setup here now, very much part of our plans. We feel in him and Stockdale at the moment, they're challenging each other. And there's a couple of times, occasion already, where he's pushed Stockdale and nearly got that starting position. When he gets in, I'm sure he won't look back. But obviously, like a goalkeeper, there's only one position that can play, but he's pushing Stockdale week in, week out, and it's nice to know that we've got two lads there that are pushing each other. As I said, Stockers has got wonderful experience, and Dorse, has got the experience at the level and is looking for the opportunity. And to where Dorse was 18 months ago to where he is now, is a complete different goalkeeper, and we feel happy in terms of where he's at.
Do you still see Cameron Dawson as a potential regular league starter for Sheffield Wednesday, if not this season, but in the future?
Yeah, and I'd say the challenge is there for Dawson. He knows that, if the door's ever left ajar and he steps in and takes it, he takes it with both hands and goes and performs, because he's certainly waiting for the opportunity, and he's certainly working extremely hard for that opportunity to come. The one thing, they're great lads. Dawson will be wishing Stockdale all the very, very best, as Stockdale will be wishing him all the very best. They get on really well together, because it's this goalkeeping union that they all have at different various clubs, and it's the same here. What I like with the both of them, that they keep pushing each other, and that's all you could ever want, really, in terms of where they're both at. But we feel that we've got two goalkeepers there, that if either one of them's in, if the other one slips up and the other one gets in, then it's over to him to stake his claim.
Just a few thoughts on Exeter. Wednesday have actually never won away at Exeter in the league in 5 previous visits down the year, so a bit of history on the line there. What do you make of them as a challenge this year?
No, I think they've done really, really well this season, sitting mid-table. I think they score goals. They score a lot of goals. We know about their front three and how effective they are in transitions. So they play a lot of exciting football. Obviously, Gary's taken over there, and slowly but surely he's putting his stamp on the team. They play some lovely patterns, got some nice football about them. But they're effective in the opposition box. And I think that's where, we know in terms of as a group and as a team, and in terms of where we've been at over the last sort of few months in terms of our resilience, we know that we're going to have to be solid again to give us a platform in order for the game. But we expect it to be another exciting game. The crowd will be up down there, because obviously we'll take our large following away day support and it should be a really, really good game, and I'm really looking forward to the game.
Because they're a lot more than a newly promoted side, aren't they? You know, they're sat in the top half at the minute. They're only 5 points off the playoffs in a very competitive division. Nobody should be looking at this one lightly in any way.
No chance, because last season, and Dorse will say to you, last season he was part of them, and to get promotion tells you that last season they had a successful campaign, and a part of a successful campaign is winning games. So they're used to winning games, and what they have carried it on is that they take games to the opposition, they don't hold back. And some of the so-called top teams in the division, they've gone at them, as well as some of the what you call the lesser teams. So there's a real appetite with them to go and play on the front foot and attacking football. And the mere fact that you say that they're 5 points outside the playoffs tells you exactly where they are. And I'm sure they'll confidently feel that they want to gate crash that and continue that momentum. And you know, we're talking, Adam, it's only 20 games of the season gone so far, not even at the halfway point. So there's a lot of football to be played. And that's why, you know, in terms of this game, it's another tough game for us. We're away from home again, difficult opponents. And again, we know here at Sheffield Wednesday that we need to be at our level best, really, to go and come away from St James with anything.
Just finally from me, nominated for Manager of the Month for November. I mean, clearly that's always nice to be a part of that conversation, but what does that say about where you are as a team right now?
No, please, Adam, and you know, everybody must share in that nomination in terms of Manager of the Month. I know probably I got to step up because I hold the title in terms of managing for the football club, but it's something that I want us all as a football club to be part of, really, because that award or nomination is impossible without the help of everybody. So for me, great, excellent, because it shows that, you know, as a joint effort, we're all doing something right at the football club to be in that position, and that goes through the structure of the football club. So it's an award that we should all feel proud of, and I'm very honoured to be up for and nominated for it.
Thank you, Darren. Good luck this weekend.
Cheers, Adam. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Darren. How are you doing?
You okay, Joe?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Just want to touch on Dennis there. You spoke to Adam about him. He was going in pretty full-blooded in tackles for a player who's just been under the knife. But how pleased are you that he's in a space where he's comfortable enough to really sort of put himself about properly?
Yeah, really, really good. Both him and even Akin, honestly, Joe, since they've come back from injury, they have let other players know that they're about. And they've, and it really is testament to both of them, because mentally they've no hold bars, they're straight back in. And as you saw, you was at the game against Huddersfield, he got stuck in, and I even actually went up to Dennis and said, considering you've just come back, you'd think you'd want to stay out of trouble, but his was the opposite, really. He wants to get in there, and I can almost say the same for Akin, which is wonderful. They've both got a real appetite, really, of getting stuck in, and they don't hold back, and it's all part and parcel of them. They're all or nothing, really. So to put them in a game or training, they're all in, really, which is great for them. But it's really, really pleased to have them back, and seeing them back on the pitch and amongst the squad. It just makes the team dynamics look a lot more different.
Another player who really seemed to stand out against Huddersfield was Rio Shipston. How impressed have you been with his development in the last couple of months or so? And have you got any closer with regards to his contract at this point?
We again, the contractual situation's been with sort of the academy staff, with him being such a young player coming through. But in terms of his development and that, we're really pleased with him in terms of where he's at. And again, it's another young player. He was on the pitch with senior players, and the best acknowledgement I can play with Rio is he didn't look out of place. He's got wonderful size, he's got wonderful awareness around him, he reads the play really well, and he's developing his power, and that's the thing. What he'll end up putting on is his decision making and his power, and that comes with him training with the first team, which he does now. And as obviously we're really pleased that we're still in the FA Youth Cup, so that adds there. And what I've noticed him when he has stepped back down at that level, his ability to control the game at that level has been excellent, really. So in terms of where he's at and how he's developing, we're really, really pleased with him. And certainly we certainly hope that we can get this contractual situation signed and sealed, because the boy wants to sign, the family wants to sign, they're all Wednesdayites, I'm hearing. So I don't envisage too many problems there.
Brilliant. David Egg-Wentworth, one of the captains, armband in a team full of senior pros, which must have been quite nice for him. And is there a plan to possibly get David out now? I know you said it almost happened earlier in the year.
We want to, but obviously we've got to have somebody willing, because we want to give him that front line. He's done really well, David, but we feel that in terms of him training in the first team and in and around the first team and everything else, he does really well. But he wants that front line football just to add that bit more power to his game, that decision making. And he's certainly got the football understanding and capabilities, but it's just putting that to practice on which you get on a Saturday. So we continuously look for that opportunity of getting him alone somewhere where he can play some first team football. But at the moment, that's been sort of eluding us at the moment, but we'll continue to try.
Just lastly, on the youth side of things for me, with Hassan Ayare, the guy from Sheffield United who was with the team for a little bit, has a decision been made on him at all? Is he possibly going to be, are you looking at maybe bringing him in?
He's been another one that's done really, really well when he's been with us. And you know, it's always difficult for players when they come in on trial, Joe, and they've got to stake a claim really, really quickly. But he's had a good time with us now, and he's enjoyed being here, and we like what we see in terms of him. But obviously we know there's another part, he's not our player. So in terms of where that's at the moment, we have to make it, we're having a discussion about him, another one, and which is him next week as well, really, in terms of where he's at, really. But at the moment, as I said, he's come in and done well, but we know that he's not our player. But we had the opportunity of looking at him, and he's done really well.
Excellent. Just on Exeter, you've got a couple of players who really stood out this season. Giovanni Brown, Sam Nombe, who got lots of goals and lots of assists. Do you ever look at specific players? You know, you look at the way that Gareth Southgate and England will be looking at Mbappe. Do you look at individuals, or do you always plan for the greater picture rather than being concerned about one or two players?
Both, really, Joe. Looking at, there's certain individuals in teams that we think you need to pay special attention to, but also at the same time, once you pay special attention to those, it's the greater, bigger picture of the game as well. And that's what we do in terms of that. As is, I'm sure there's teams that look at some of our individuals in trying to nullify in what our individuals doing as well. We try and do that with our position as well. But there's always a greater picture in terms of understanding the type of game that we want to try and adopt, and where we feel we can try and win the game, and that's always on the more greater picture as well as looking at one or two individuals that could be effective against us.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time as well. We don't have to see you down there.
Cheers. Thanks, Joe.
Hi Darren, you okay?
Yeah, good, thanks, Ricky.
Just wanted to ask you about any concerns at all about the fact that it might be frozen off or anything like that, in terms of those kind of worries, because that would be the nightmare scenario, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be, and until you said it, Ricky, I didn't think of it like that, because I just think that sort of down in Devon, a place where I've lived as well, really, it's a little bit more warmer down there, so I don't envisage it being called up, but if it was, it would be a bitter blow, really. So hopefully the weather will stay kind to us and the game will be on.
And just on Cammy, have you kind of been using him as like a bit of inside knowledge? I know Exeter will have changed slightly from last season, but you've still got that kind of inside knowledge, haven't you, from him?
Yeah, he knows every corner of the ground down there, and it'll be a nice time for him to go back there and reminisce, really, and rightly so, and he should feel proud. But in terms of asking him knowledge, in terms of the team and that, it's a complete different team, different management setup. So there'll be one or two familiar faces down there, but probably not fully the whole dynamics of it. So not really been asking him much about that really, because there's a new management team in place.
Just going back to the Patterson stuff briefly, obviously their manager, Robbie Nielsen, got quoted, saying they've got interest. Does that kind of thing, how do you feel about that kind of stuff when you hear it or read it?
I'm hearing about it here now, which has been revealed to me today. What I would say is that I know Robbie really well, and if Robbie has that interest, he'll pick the phone up and ring me. What I will say to all the listeners here now, I've not had a phone call, and there's not been an official approach. So we have to just treat it as speculation, and people can talk about players. I wouldn't do something about a player that's contracted. That's just my stance. So, but I'm learning it from you. But also at the same time, I know Robbie, and if there's any interest, he'll pick the phone up, I'm sure, and have a discussion.
And just lastly from me, I don't know whether you saw Brian Lowe's, obviously one of your predecessors, made some comments last week, basically saying, I'll read it to you. It basically said, I've said it from the start, I will lay the gauntlet down. If Wednesday don't go up this year, it will have been a shambles. Basically because of the quality of the squad. When you hear stuff like that, you kind of adds pressure on, I guess, doesn't it? But do you kind of block that stuff out, or do you have to block that stuff out?
We've got to block that stuff out, but one thing you get in this industry is that everybody's got their own opinions, and it's a lovely industry that everybody can have their opinions openly, but where those opinions go, that'd be down to the individuals really. So I've got no problem with him saying that those opinions, because he's probably saying it because he probably feels to how we've started the season and the personnel that we've got within the ranks in here, then he probably feels that. So yeah, that's it really. I haven't got really much more to say about that.
Fair enough. Safe trip down to Exeter, Darren.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers, pal.
Yeah, I might fancy one of those myself. I wanted to ask you about George Byers. Now, it's sort of been the case where it's felt like he's been, you give him the message where he's been touch and go for a few weeks. It's a question that we get quite a lot from the fans. I wondered if you might be able to sort of explain why that's been the case, why he's been close but not quite made it back the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, we can understand the fans, sort of writing in, because I'm sure they all want to see him back on the pitch. So really for the fans and for everybody, where George has been at is sustained this foot injury, and every time he stepped back on, we've got him close and he stepped back on the pitch, and he's got back on the pitch and he's put a certain amount of movement and pressure through it, he's not felt happy with it. So even though he does a bit of work and it looks promising, the next day afterwards he's felt sore, he's felt a bit of discomfort, he's not been happy. So with those kind of dynamics, he's not felt 100% that he's wanting to go in it, and that's got to be the player as well. So even though he's doing certain things and it looks promising, and we think, yeah, if he gets through certain things and he's happy with it, he can get back in the team, but he's not been able to do that. So every time he goes out there, he's out there today as we speak now. I can look across the pitch now, he's out there now. Now we've got to wait and see tomorrow if he wakes up in the morning and he feels all right with it. If he feels all right with it, then it's another stage on. And that's exactly where he's at now. A large proportion of it will be down to his threshold as well, really. Because if he feels great, then happy days. But if he feels that he wants to get it in a position where he doesn't want to feel so much discomfort and he wants it to feel a lot more better, then we have to respect that. And that's where George is at the moment. So we'll keep nursing him, we'll keep working with him, we'll keep applying certain footballing principles with him, and what we want to see him is get back in with the team. And then once he gets back in the team and he trains with the group, and we feel that he's at a level training with the group, that's when then you can start making plans for him to come back in. He could be back training with the group by next week, and if that's the case, that's the next stage closer for him getting back out there. So I can understand the frustrations from the fans because they want to see George, and I can understand why, because we know the role that he plays for the team, but also we want to see a fit George Byers to be effective when he comes back in, and at the moment he doesn't feel he's quite up to that level yet.
How would you describe the injury that he has? Is it a bruised foot, or it's not anything skeletal or anything? What's the issue?
No, what it was he had in one of his muscles in the foot, he had a small minor tear, a real small tear in it, and it was just getting that heel back. So, we had a course of injections just to settle it down, which it has. But also, once he settled it down, I think we've been trying it too quick, too soon, or putting too much volume on it too soon. So all those bits, because all throughout the weeks, he has been close to getting back, but always not quite, So where I've been wanting to share, and news to say he's back training with us, so we'll see how he goes. We've not quite had that yet, but as I said, that can happen at any time. So we'll keep monitoring him, and we wish him that hopefully over these next few days or 3 or 4 days, he can find that response and feel that he's able to get back in it.
I want to ask you, I've asked you a couple of times already this season, but with Jack Hunt having played 70 odd minutes on Tuesday, obviously Dominic Orfer has been thrown into the mix now for minutes in that position. How far off is Jack, and why is he still a little way behind Palms and Dom in terms of getting those minutes in the league?
Yeah, and that can just be for just simply needing minutes, really, Alex. Just for that reason, really. And I think, like I said to you before, I don't think any of us will grumble too much in terms of how Liam Palmer, the form he's come back in, and then where Dominic Iorfa is, and what we tend to see Dominic as an out-and-out centre-back, which he has, but he's also played in that right-back, right-wing-back very early in his career, so it's a position that's not totally alien to him, and played the position really, really well, and been part of, I know they'll get the plaudits, the back 5, back 4, back 3, but what's been keeping some good clean sheets, really, in terms of it. So, in terms of the performances, they've been good. That's not to discourage where Jack's at. Jack's just been in the position where he's been training really hard. We felt we've had to put in some of these in-house games. I've saw it fit to play him in some of the cup competitions this season to get some real competitive football. But we feel after him having 70 minutes the other night at Huddersfield, that would have done him the world of good, because it was a good level game for him to play in. And sometimes you can train all you want, Alex, but sometimes to match minutes, you got to be fit as well, match fit. So it's just taking awareness of those players that have not played regular football in giving them some minutes, because we feel we've got a Christmas programme coming up where we've got 4 games in 11 days where the squad will get called upon again. So it's really important that we've given some of those players some minutes to sort of blow off the cobwebs in preparation for that period of games.
Great stuff. Right, thanks for that, and safe trip tomorrow. Good luck. Cheers, Darren.
Cheers, Alex. Thank you.